Okay, y'all, this is very impromptu because it's for Sunday night, but here I am with my where's the purchased items gonna go. I already know I'm using these because I can get more in the square footage, so I'm starting with those. Then, when that's full, I'm gonna slide over to this area. I have a stand here that I can pull out. Just a box, but you get my point. Then I have another box, comes out and flips over, that can be filled. And over here, I have plenty of space on the floor, and nobody lives in the basement but the cat, and this will all get packed up before I go to bed. So anyway, you gotta have a place to put your stuff. No matter how small of a space you're working in. Even in my wife's basement. Alright, it's morning time. Time to get everything up and going. And time to ship these products out. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of products. It was an extremely busy night. So that was my initial plan. That was my overflow. And then when I got to gold customers, I had to give them a whole separate area. And then I even started back on the floor over here. So that was a 55 or 50 item Buck and Go show. I actually sold 100 and some items. I did about 1,600 gross. And I overwhelmed my packing station for here. And as you can see, my desk is now cluttered. And I have lots of packing to do. Alright, so my first step is going to be sorting the bags down. Alright, some of those bags, as soon as I pick it up, I know is going to be heavy enough for priority. If it's heavy enough for priority, I'm going to put it in the box that'll fit in. Then I'm going to look at the ones that are in priority boxes and determine whether or not they still need priority or they can go ground, or if they're too big and they got to go ground. Alright, so first thing, I'm going to get all my smalls organized quickly by weight and size, determine if they can ship in the mailer or they got to go in a box. That's the first step. Okay, this is what it looks like now when it's been sorted down. And while I was sorting, I went over there and got the computer fired up. I didn't log in or anything because that's not my primary function. My primary function was turn the power on, so I didn't waste that little bit of time that I had. Alright, so those things were already in boxes, but I know that this one will require a different box. But when I get to having more space, I'll get that cleared off. This is important here. This is there was a point real early in the show last night where I got a little confused on who got the second piece of paint stick. And rather than stop the flow and fix it right then, I set that on top of the pile of people that got paint sticks. So when I was messing with it this morning, I saw it and remembered, all right, I need to square that away. There's a couple other things in here that need to be squared away, like a couple people got tins that I cannot seem to find in here, and they therefore must be at the shop. Alright, so all the gold members, giggity, and above pretty much are over here. And some of them will need custom boxes. Some of them will need smaller priority boxes. And then the next step will be to flip a box over and set it right here. And then as I'm weighing things and getting things done, I've got a place to set the 2 boxes full of the 2 MRE boxes full of stuff. All right. Remember, this is not my optimum setup. I'm not at my place of business. This is just in our basement during the snowstorm. So I normally don't do this much out of the basement. Good morning, y'all. I tell you, that Saturday show was crazy. Packing took me near on 5 hours. But since I had my packages all laid out, I was pretty prepared for the size of the show I was going to do. I went into it knowing I was going to do Buck and Goes. And with Buck and Goes, the way I see it is, if I'm going to offer $50 go auctions in a show, I need to expect to have 50 packages. It's not really going to work that way, but in the worst case scenario, you end up with 50 individual packages, and that it's never happened to that scope before. But in some of the knife shows, you will get one buyer, especially if you put free shipping or nobody pays more than so much in shipping. You'll get a lot of buyers that just get one thing, and it'll fill up your space fast. At the Sanctuary, I have 4 tables I can use. Here in Studio D, I have 1 table, and then I have large boxes that I pull out and use as expanded space. And then I have a whole nother section that my regular Rewards Club members go into. You're gonna find you have some people that when they buy the first thing, go ahead and just put them in the bigger box and have a separate area for them, because some buyers are like that. And if you get to my level where you're able to wholesale out things like surplus and overstock, then you have people buying 4 and 5 of things at a time, like 5 flashbangs, 5 IFAKs, 5 whatever. That adds up quick in weight, which takes it out of priority, so you might as well just get it right into a 12 by 12. And those people, they have their own area over there in the hallway. But before we start, I have made enough containers for however many Buck and Go items I'm going to run. So if I'm going to run 50, I make 50. A lot of the stuff I sold this weekend was small, so it went in bags, and I think you'll see that in part of the video. Alright, so I'm going to switch from here. I'm going to show you the workspace now, and then I'm going to show you the problem that you have as a small seller working out of your basement or your shed or a bedroom, especially if you live in an apartment with stairs. This next thing is very relative. How to move the boxes. Yeah. You thought it was going to cut scene, didn't you? So now all those bags are only that size, but I will tell you it took me 2 hours to do all those. There's probably about 25 in there. And in that time I also got those done, because they grew. This, pardon the antiques and stuff, I'm handling an estate and we haven't got the physical property out of here yet. Okay, so proof positive that you can actually have your workspace cleaned. Now these are a couple that have things that need to be added to them when I go to the shop today. And then what I really wanted to show you is, so what to do with all the boxes. Now, there were 43 boxes from that live show. And then I had a whole bunch of marketplace sales. And then there's 4 cases of MREs upstairs with stickers on them. The stairs. Ah, the cat. That was funny. That was perfect timing. All right, I gotta get up all those stairs. Well, that's a lot of individual boxes and individual trips. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a bigger box and I'm gonna prop it halfway up those stairs, and then I'm gonna fill it with the smaller boxes, so I only have to go up halfway. All right, now here you can see I'm about halfway up. What I did was I took heavier boxes and put them there. I put this one on an angle so I can grab it from the top and pull it up. And then I got another one on top. You can see the box is broken. I've been doing this for a while. If you got a bad back, sometimes those trips really add up.